Ravenna is part of the Emilia-Romagna region of northern Italy. It was an important seaport until the early Middle Ages, but is now landlocked. Ravenna has 8 Roman and Byzantine buildings which were awarded UNESCO World Heritage Site status. The early settlement of Ravenna was by the Thessalians, Greeks, the Etruscans and the Umbrians, both groups of Italians. Later, the Senons inhabited a part of the city called Ager Decimanus. Ravenna was at that time a group of islands built on piles, much like Venice in the future. Ravenna became part of the Roman Republic in 89 BC. Julius Caesar mustered his forces here in 49 BC before crossing the Rubicon. Octavian built the important military harbour of Classis here in Ravenna. To learn more about La Bella Italia, consider subscribing. Emperor Trajan built a sizable aqueduct in the 2nd century. Germanic settlers in the area caused an uprising during the Marco-Mannic Wars and gained control of the city. In order to prevent future uprisings, Marcus Aurelius ejected existing Germanic people from Italy and prevented them from entering in the future. Emperor Honorius made Ravenna the capital of the Western Roman Empire in 402 AD. It was a part strategic decision, as Ravenna's location was protected by swamps and marshes, and it also had a seaport. King Alaric I of the Visigoths, during his invasion, completely ignored Ravenna and proceeded to sack Rome in 410, taking Galla Placidia, the daughter of Emperor Theodosius I, as a highly prized hostage. Ravenna gained many of its notable monuments in this Christian period, including the Orthodox Baptistry, the Mausoleum of Galla Placidia, incidentally she was not buried here, and San Giovanni Evangelista. Roman rule collapsed in the West in late 5th century, and the last emperor in the West was replaced by General Odoacer in 476. In 489, the Eastern Emperor Zeno sent the Ostrogoth king Theodoric the Great to retake this Italian coastline. Having lost the Battle of Verona, Odoacer retreated to Ravenna and withstood a siege for 3 years by Theodoric. The eventual fall of Rimini, a nearby coastal town, starved Ravenna of supplies. Theodoric eventually entered Ravenna in 493 and personally disposed of Odoacer and made Ravenna the capital of the Ostrogoth kingdom of Italy. Theodoric built numerous fine buildings in Ravenna, including Sant'Apollinare Nuovo and the Mausoleum of Theodoric. During a riot in 519, a mob burnt down the synagogues of Ravenna, which Theodoric personally rebuilt. Upon Theodoric's death in 526, his grandson Athalaric did not last long, and by 535 Theodoric's sole heir was Matasunta. Christian Byzantine Emperor Justinian I sent his general Belisarius to invade Italy, and he conquered Ravenna in 540. Ravenna was soon the heart of the Byzantine government in Italy. The Ravenna cosmography was written in this period. It was a list of globally known place names. Monuments from this period include the Basilica of San Vitale, the Basilica of Sant'Apollinare in Classis, and San Michele a Frisisco. The Exarchate were a group of largely coastal city-states on the Italian peninsula which resisted the Lombard power inland. The individual exarch represented the emperor in Constantinople, the Eastern Roman Empire. The Exarchate of Ravenna, Byzantine Sicily, Corsica and Sardinia were governed separately but under the influence of Constantinople. Lombard control emanated from Pavia and reached as far as Spoleto and Benevento. It included Venetia, Tuscany and Campania. All this time, the Pope retained the real power in Rome. In 751, Aistulf, the Lombard king, took Ravenna again and ended the Byzantine rule in northern Italy. The tension between the Pope in Rome and the Exarch in Ravenna ensued for some time. The papacy tried to destabilise Ravenna. The old aristocracy resented the Exarch as an interfering foreigner. The power of the emperors in Constantinople was on the wane. The imperial territories at this time were defended by local militias resisting the power of the Lombards. King Pepin, the Frank, instigated by Pope Stephen II, attacked the Lombards. Progressively, Ravenna was being ruled by the popes. Pope Adrian I instructed Charlemagne to loot Ravenna in order to bejewel his own German capital of Aachen. In 1198, Ravenna led an uprising against the emperor. Following the War of 1218, the Traversari family ruled Verona until 1240. Ravenna passed between papal and Traversari control until the rule of da Polenta began in 1275. The exiled poet Dante lived in Ravenna. Ostasio III was the last of the da Polenta line and was ejected by the Republic of Venice in 1441. Ravenna took part during the Italian Wars, which were between the Pope, the Italian city-states, France and Spain. Ravenna was sacked in 1512 by the French following the Battle of Ravenna. The Pope and the Spanish had lost to the French. Ravenna was the birthplace of the monster of Ravenna, believed to have been a deformed child whose presence was considered an omen prior to the Battle of Ravenna. Ravenna was again a papal state. The city suffered great damage during the flood of 1636. As a consequence, a network of canals was built, both to improve agriculture and also reduce the likelihood in the future of the city flooding again. In 1796, Ravenna was annexed by the French puppet state, the Cisalpine Republic. Garibaldi took Ravenna in 1859 as part of the Risorgimento. During World War II, British and Canadian troops liberated Ravenna in December 1944 with very little damage caused to the city. Ravenna appears frequently in literature. It is mentioned in Dante's Inferno and also by Nostradamus. It is the location of the play The Witch by Thomas Middleton. Lord Byron lived and worked in Ravenna while he pursued an aristocratic married woman named Teresa Guiccioli. Ravenna is interestingly the location of Mary Shelley's novel The Last Man, where a devastating pandemic sweeps across Europe. Oscar Wilde lived and worked in Ravenna. T.S. Eliot's poem Lune de Miel is based in Ravenna. It is said J.R.R. Tolkien was part inspired to base his city of Minas Tirith from The Lord of the Rings on Ravenna. The 8 Christian architectures of Ravenna enjoying World Heritage status are the Orthodox Baptistry, Mausoleum of Galla Placidia, Arian Baptistry, Archiepiscopal Church, Basilica of Sant'Apollinare Nuovo, Mausoleum of Theodoric, Basilica of San Vitale, Basilica of Sant'Apollinare in Classis. The Basilica of San Francesco is where the funeral of Dante Alighieri took place in 1321. He remains buried close to the church despite numerous attempts by the city of Florence for his return. Opera performances take place at Teatro Alighieri. Concerts take place at Palazzo Mauro de Andrea and also at Basilica of San Vitale.